And welcome back to the light. And we're still here at our Stockton studios with phone power. We are so dedicated to bringing you the light, even though we're not able to broadcast through conventional ways. We'll be able to post this up on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and as soon as the transmitter is back up here, we will broadcast the audio. But right now we're taking the video, and our good friend Miss Dope is doing a great job with our Pokemon Go players. Miss Dope, back to you.
Hey everyone, so we're back. So now I'm going to ask, before we get into some of the crazy stories that I'm sure we all have read, seen on the news, or heard word of mouth of what do they call it? Pokemasters?
Pokemon Masters.
Pokemon Masters.
Close.
Getting into some deep trouble with this app. I want to know, has anyone heard, because I've recently heard, actually today, that the creators are discussing with Warner Brothers and Sony about making a live action film.
I've seen that on Facebook.
I
was hearing.
I didn't read the article, but I've seen it.
I've heard it from someone that lives in California that actually works for Warner Brothers, and so they said he's 100% that they're definitely in discussion of talking about it. So are you guys excited?
Yes and no.
Not really.
Yes and no.
There's
Not at all.
There's a trend in Hollywood where they make a movie out of video games and it goes terribly.
For example, Dragon Ball Z
Mortal
and
Kombat.
The Last
That was
Airbender.
actually horrible.
The Last Airbender.
Mortal
we don't
Kombat,
talk about
Last
that.
Airbender,
Oh, yeah,
the
no.
Mario Brothers movie.
Oh, Mario Brothers, I wasn't
Teenage
too
Mutant
thrilled.
Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, so
Oh yeah, they thoroughly disappointed me on that. I was a total fan. Okay, so I definitely can agree because I was definitely in on Pokemon. With that being said, Pokemon Go Plus is supposed to come out in 2017 with like the bracelet that connects to the app. Are you guys interested in getting one?
I thought that came out next month.
I thought it was supposed to come
yeah,
out next
it's
month.
It's
comes
coming
out
out the first
relatively
30 days, I believe.
You guys are the masters. You know way more than me.
It's like an Apple Watch, but for
Yeah.
Pokemon
but
Go,
it does
right?
nothing an Apple Watch does.
Okay, so what? From my
understanding-
understanding, it just connects to the app, and then
Yes,
you
you
don't
leave
have to
your
have your
phone-
phone out.
And
You
it'll
can use the
vibrate and
watch
light up
to-
if you're near something.
Exactly.
Right.
That's
And
all.
then you can take out your phone and catch
All
the
of this is
Pokemon
a notification, pretty much, on your wrist.
So $35 to get a vibration.
that you can just
Yeah.
get
That
from
you
your
can just
phone in your
get-
So
pocket.
you can save your phone battery, though.
Right, great. So now I want to jump into some of the stories we've heard of incidents that's happened since Pokemon has came out. Nicole, do you have a story you want to enlighten us over?
So far, there's been like good stories, there's been like bad stories. I think the craziest story that I've heard was about this girl who was playing Pokemon Go with her friends, and she lived out like Wyoming. There's lots of like grasslands and prairie kind of stuff. So she's walking through there, and they get to a lake, and they start walking around the lake, and they see something floating, and they realize that it's a body. And so
Did they catch the Pokemon first before they called the police?
I'm not sure, but like they were rightfully traumatized, and they actually helped solve like a missing persons case that was like a year old.
Wow.
Yeah,
Shout
but
out to Pokemon Go.
Right.
Shout out
Ed,
to
have
that
you
squirrel
heard
they were
any?
chasing.
Right. Ed, have you heard any crazy stories?
I mean, Nika was actually, Nicole was just telling me earlier today that apparently one of the gyms is actually the Auschwitz Museum, and people are going there, catching Pokemon, and apparently they had to, I think, tweet out or put some sort of notification out, like, please don't play the game, like, we're
It's
supposed to be,
disrespectful.
yeah, it's disrespectful, this is a somber place.
Arlington National Cemetery is having that problem too.
Yeah, people
Wow.
are, because people are breaking into cemeteries, because you can get ghost types in cemeteries, so people are going there at night and just walking all over graves and just being generally
Disrespectful.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, G, have you heard any crazy
The
stories?
most recent one I've heard so far was that a guy thought that these two kids that were in their car playing Pokemon, he thought they were burglars, and they were shot at.
Wow.
What happened was the guy called the police, said he heard a noise. Well, I think he called the police, and he said he heard a noise, and he went outside to investigate. He see the car, and all he heard was, "Did you get anything?" But what they're referring to is the game. Did you get any Pokemon? Is what they're referring to, and he points the gun at them, and they pull off, and he starts shooting at their car.
Wow.
So I mean, it's under investigation now, but that's just ridiculous. Like,
Reverend
Oh,
Lee,
man, I don't have any stories. I can't top any of those stories, no.
Stella from Star 180 Plus, would you like to chime in? You heard any crazy stories?
No, but I'm so excited and listening to these stories. I'm not even going to look for Pokemon Go.
Did you hear about Central Park? How it was a big mob that ran?
Yeah.
It was a big mob. I don't know what popped out. Some people
Vaporeon.
say Vaporeon. Some people say Charizard. So I'm not sure which one it was, but a big flash mob ran down in Central Park to catch a single Pokemon.
Just jumped out.
Now,
the
what a
car,
lot of people are
running on the
confused
beach.
about, they think that what they mean is like they all were rushing to catch one Pokemon, but in reality, everybody's phone gets the same Pokemon. It's not like we're all fighting to get one Pokemon. Everybody gets the
So-
same one Pokemon.
So if there's 5 of us and I'm like, oh, this Pokemon appeared, each of us will have
see
a
it.
different one. It'll appear at the same spot at the same time, but we'll
Okay.
each be able to catch one.
Sometimes at different levels.
My
Yeah.
stories are nowhere near as crazy as you guys.
But one good story that you can get from this is that if you play Pokemon Go and you go to like near a children's hospital, you can use a lure module, and a lot of times kids that are sick like are getting like therapy, chemotherapy or something like that in the hospitals that they can't leave.
Yeah, they can't go out and catch Pokemon.
They can like just be in their room and be able to catch Pokemon.
Oh,
And
that's
what a
so
lure
cool.
module does, it's basically like an instant that attracts Pokemon, so you don't have to leave that spot so that since they can't go out, the Pokemon
So
come
the
to them.
Pokemon will
Yeah.
come to them.
Yeah.
You just sit there and it'll spawn one
And it's
every,
going
5 minutes for
5,
30
10 minutes or so.
Now that's a good story. I would rather see those on my timeline than the ones I do see. I see, so far I've seen a woman get hit by a bus in Times Square.
Yeah.
I've seen a guy get his hand ran over because he was trying to catch a Pokemon. He dropped his phone in the street and he went to go reach for it and the car ran over his hand. And also, I heard there was a huge car crash on 95 in Philadelphia, trying to, everyone like, it was 3 cars that were stopped trying to get a Pokemon, and the cars that were coming behind them like crashed into the ones that were stopped, and they were like in the middle of the highway. Those are the only ones I've heard.
It's
I almost
crazy.
actually got hit today driving to the mall. There's a guy next to me, he tries to get in my lane. I look over, he's playing on his phone. And I'm like, I like the game as much as you, but I also like breathing and,
Right.
and my car being in one piece. So
Right.
Yeah.
you can wait.
All these accidents.
I've seen a girl, I was actually in the mall, and I saw a girl walk out of the store with the clothes still in her hand. She hadn't paid for them, trying to catch Pokemon. She was coming like out the dressing room and she was like chasing the Pokemon. And I was like, okay, so now people are getting arrested, people are going to hospitals. Is there anything else, you know?
And what's ridiculous about all the accidents is, it's really all common sense. That's why all these accidents
Exactly.
are happening, like people not paying attention. When you play the game, the first message that pops up right after the company's name, it says, stay aware of your surroundings.
Stay alert at all times.
Stay alert at all times. It
That's
lets you
it.
know.
And-
But the
to-
fact that
It even
Look
has
up.
to
to me,
side of the
it
game.
kind of bothers me that they actually have to say that. Like, that people don't naturally just say, okay, I'm going to pay attention, because this is not virtual reality. It's not like you have glasses on and you're sitting in your house in one place and you're walking around in your mind. You're actually outside in your everyday life, and you can bump into absolutely anything. Like, I saw someone walk into the wall in
Yeah.
Taj Mahal. Like, you're trying to walk to the restroom and you can't even pay attention?
But-
That's ridiculous.
It's the same thing as texting and driving.
That's what I was
People-
thinking.
Exactly.
people are
It's like,
thinking,
it's
"Oh,
like
well, I
worse
can
than texting and
multitask."
driving, because now people are dying.
It's the same
Yeah,
thing,
and
like
it-
when people be on Facebook, like walking
So
down
I
the
can
hall, people on
multitask.
Snapchat, like it's just all just look up.
They don't want you to
every now
snap
then.
and drive. What are they going to do now? Like, don't
I mean, I think
don't
Pokemon-
catch and drive? Like, I don't
Pokemon Go
know.
did put out an ad, I think, that said,
One
don't
minute.
catch and drive.
Don't catch
Like,
and drive.
Be careful, like, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Like, that Pokemon will show up again.
Yes.
Okay, so is there any message you guys would like to send out to the listeners for, I guess, safe catching? I don't know how to
I'm
go
just
about
gonna
that.
quote the game one more time. Stay alert and aware of your surroundings at all times.
That's pretty much the best thing you can do.
I would,
Right.
I would
Don't
say,
catch and drive.
yeah, I would say for younger kids, because I see a lot of, like, teenagers, people who can't drive, riding around on bikes. That's not as dangerous as driving, but you still have to be aware. There are drivers who might be distracted, drivers that might be playing. Don't just go in the road, be with friends, wear a helmet. And if you are young, go out with your parents, because there are creepy people out there too.
I definitely
I'm gonna
agree.
say, come to my church and catch them.
Yes,
Asbury
definitely.
United
Catch 'em all in
Methodist
the Lord.
Church, 1213 Pacific Avenue.
Wonderful.
Atlantic City.
And so you heard it here first from the Pokemon Masters experts,
rap.
right?
Instinct.
Team Instinct.
Team Mystic.
Team
Mystic is
Mystic in
better.
the building. We have some neutral people here as well. And I hope you all enjoyed This Is the Light.